Here we go. Let's start with this. You know that snake Kiki that I put on the thumbnail? Uh if you don't know, the Pretty Antisocial gals made like, and I was like thankful. I was like, wow, this is like iconic. They made Keanu, they took my studio, altered it. It still says Keanu cast in the image, and they made me into a snake because they're very dramatic. And they know that they know they need to be mean to me publicly because that's what their followers want them to do. Even though they're nice to me privately. You know how that makes me feel though? It's like they got pissed off on their stream last night. If you don't know, it's the Pretty Antisocial podcast. It's a couple of women. I'm trying to be nice here. That grift off of me. They grift off of Aaron, which I mean, Aaron, we take it in stride, but they're seeping more and more and more into talking about me, which you know what, I wear it as a badge of honor, I suppose. And I know when I say like, you guys know me, I mean like we've had like a sit down and we've spoken and messaged back and forth, but like they think that their takes are the law. And they have an opinion on what everyone should be doing, how they should have done it, how they should have acted. And it is, I won't lie to you. I'm not going to lie. That's one thing about me. I will never lie to you. Maybe I tell too much truth, which I think that they get pissed off by. Bum, 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 bum. So the girls are trying to teach me a lesson about copyright. But they did do this thing. They're pissed off at me because I guess 2 streams ago as well, I read our messages together. The ones that where they were being nice to me. They were being nice to me and warning me about like, hey, this happened. This person shared your nudes on Twitter or whatever. And they were upset about that. I'm like, what that tells me, like, you guys didn't say anything like mean or untoward. I was just saying like, wow, ladies, thanks for the heads up. And I read them. I wasn't being, it's messaging and texting with somebody is a conversation that you have with someone. I'm allowed to fucking read whatever I want. If they said like, if Haley or Jackie said like, hey, I just want to let you know, Keanu, that I'm making something up. I just want to let you know that I killed 6 people with my car. And I ran and I never got caught. I would not read that, actually. It's a bad example. They would never tell me that. And I probably... Well, because they've been so mean to me, I probably would read that. But if Haley went, you know what, I'm so embarrassed that I can't stop eating Slim Jims all day long, Keanu. And I just eat Slim Jims all day long, and it's breaking up my marriage. And, I feel really overweight and terrible about myself. These are all bad examples because it would be, since they've been mean to me, then I wouldn't read that. If you think that I just go willy-nilly reading everyone's texts, I read messages when it's a conversation that you had with somebody. Obviously they wouldn't text me any of their deepest, darkest secrets. You're taking me to towns over to take me to dinner and then have sex with me, and then in public you're like, yeah, fuck her, she's stupid. That is figurative. Then we don't go to dinner together.
apparently they had agreed not to talk about anything publicly about,
Right.
some of the, details of why they were no longer going to do the show.
I don't agree to fucking shit. I'm not agreeing to anything. And even if okay, narcissist prayer. Say I said, yeah, okay, but I didn't. I did not agree. But for like devil's advocate's sake, like, say I did, fuck, I changed my mind. Clearly, I was going to talk about it. I talk about everything. I'm an open book. I'm going to fucking talk about it.
It was going to be a very simple, like, we had a disagreement of creative, works and what we wanted to do, and that sort of be it. But Keanu took it upon
That's what I
herself to
should have
set up the
said.
stream hours before Ashley
Oh,
ever went on
wait,
with
this
Dan.
is
On
great.
herself to set up the stream hours before Ashley ever went on with Dan.
Now stop. Hours. Hours. I may have said, Kiki and Ashley's over, blah, 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 and not belabored the point. I set up my stream hours before. Keep that in mind. You're being willfully fucking ignorant because they're wrong. They're wrong.
And it had the thumbnail that had a picture of them that you've seen before if you ever saw the thumbnails for their show, where it's her and Ashley, these little puppets or whatever, these little AI things. Well, Keanu had taken her out of it and put a little teardrop on like the puppet's eye
Yeah,
on her puppet
I'm
for the
sad.
thumbnail, showing everybody that they had broken up or whatever. And it just said something like Kiki and Kiki or something like that. So it was
Yeah.
obvious, like, oh, okay, Ashley's not going to be with her anymore. She let that. The reason I'm saying all that is because she let that thumbnail sit for hours and hours and hours and hours.
Bitch. And I say that with love. The Nice Podcast Stupid with Ashley, and I'm going to show you a picture, thing was posted, their thumbnail, where it says, and the title is, Ashley addresses all of the haters. And again, she was texting me nasty things. Okay. That was posted at 1:31 p.m. 1:31 p.m. I did not post my thumbnail with my puppet on it with a tear until 6:41. 6:41. What did she think that nice Dan from Nice Podcast Stupid was going to do? And she does. She didn't say nice things about me on there. I'm allowed to talk about my life. I never said no. I'm not going. I said stop listening to people on the internet. They're the ones going after you. But no, now Ashley, you got what. You know what? She's probably just so happy. You want to know why? Because the people that she was trying to impress, or the people that were meanest to her, which is like people like this, internet trolls. Sorry, you kind of are. Internet trolls. Now she has their approval. I'll be the devil. I'll be the snake. So there you go. Look, I did her a favor.
Called her an unhinged. No, what was it?
Why don't you
Not
write
an
it
unhinged
down?
lunatic. What was it?
I said,
Hey,
I
what's going
said,
on?
yes, she's sort of a
Thought
quirky
I'd start a little
lunatic.
differently tonight.
But I love a
Thank
quirky
you
lunatic.
very much
People
to
might.
Doom for that awesome clip. Wow, I'm looking especially pale. It is I, Schmuel Buckman, here to say hello, and we have a couple of guests coming on, and they'll be on in a few minutes. But first, I wanted to own my apology for Saturday night. I should never have gone live. I had some guests lined up. The guest bailed, and because it's Saturday night, I planned nothing. So, and then I just can't get all that worked up about people. So, tell me you can hear me. please actually check myself. Yes, sound works. All right. Very cool. For everybody on Twitter, we'll be going off there in about 20 minutes. Frank starts us off. God, I hope I'm never 63 and hate women 30 years younger than me. I don't mean that about you, Schmuel. I just mean in general. Frank, it's not about being a woman. You get to my age and you just start realizing some people are just shit. And she's one of them. And I'm not a big fan of going after women. I tend to lay off that for the most part. But this Keanu just makes me nuts. And especially when she's attacking my friends over at Pretty Antisocial podcast, because they do a good job. And, you know, they're not snipers and they're not trolls. They really do everything. So, fuck her. I did laugh about when she said she was an open book. And all I was thinking of was the open book with no writing on page, which is very funny. And I guess I'm also on another channel at the same time, and somebody's premiering a Rumble. The thing they did on Rumble is going up on their newest YouTube channel, a rekindled YouTube channel. And Schmuel, are you Team Ashley Cummings? I like Ashley. I think she's fun to talk to. I think that she may not be, this may not be the best world for her, but you know, Keanu is the same thing. She thinks she's going to get, she was doing it. She brought Ashley in because Ashley was getting heat. And, right. And then when that didn't happen, she tossed her to the side. But, and I've had a little bit, I don't really know how much I should, talk about stuff, but I think, based upon my conversations with other people and watching Keanu, I think one of them, not Keanu, wanted to do a show that wasn't Dabbleverse focused and wanted to go over topics and wanted to do things. And the other part of the show doesn't prepare and or plan anything. So I've seen one of them do stand up and I can totally see that. So screw her. And to be honest, I wanted to get off karmic a little bit. And I tried to download some karmic shit, but I was having a problem. And the way it works in Evmux with the sound, I have to download the video and then load it up as a scene unless somebody else can help me, or then you guys hear it looping back. So there we go. Let's rock and roll through some comments. Let's shit on me for Saturday night. Yes, I did take the video down. I privated it. It was bad. I was tired just before I went live. Shouldn't say just before, about a half an hour before, when I was going to get set up, I realized that my computer was not with me and I had to use an old one, and that one wasn't connecting to the internet, and I had like tested everything out and had to move to the front of the house, and it was just a shit show, and I should not have been there. So they can't all be toe tappers. I don't know what else to tell you. So there's not much I can say except I apologize. Chris Mack, send Granny the link. I will. But isn't he in a place where he can't get the link? I mean, I'm happy to send it to him. I love having Granny on. Granny's like one of the funniest people. Very few people I've found in the web are Dabbleverse, whatever we want to call it, are naturally as funny as Granny. But oh, there we go. And I had sent Granny. It was pretty funny because I had sent Granny. Uh, I just did send him the link, but I was listening back to his show a while ago, and so I was goofing around. And I just did a Chat GPT on Granny Loves Anal, and if it's still here, I will read the adult. This is his GPT thing. The adult content references, e.g., granny anal videos on YouPorn, XX videos, etc., are unrelated to Granny Loves Anal's persona, which is satirical or comedic handle, not a literal reference to pornography. The search results for Granny Loves Anal likely surfaced due to keyword overlap, but don't reflect on the actual content or intent of the Granny Loves Anal persona. I thought that was pretty good, funny. And I didn't know if Granny saw that. Granny got a chuckle out of it, and there we go. And let's welcome in, whoa, uh, Mr. Happy, otherwise known as Panhandler, and we'll rock and roll.
Evening, Schmuel. Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you fine. The audience can hear you fine. You're doing great. So, yeah. So, Panhandler decided to ask. I shouldn't say that. I asked Panhandler if he would come on tonight, and he said yes, and that was amazing. And so we've got he's got the Crumb Bum lighting thing going on, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, right.
And Crumb couldn't make it tonight.
That's a shame. That's really going to kill the numbers.
And Toe Tappers from Chris Mack. Isn't that how gay cruisers signal each other in restrooms? God, I don't know if you remember who it was, but do you remember the politician was like a congressman, was sliding his foot over in the stall?
Yeah, somewhere in like the DT metro area or one of the
Yeah,
metro stations or something. Yeah, I don't
like
remember the name though.
was at the airport, and
Yeah, the airport. You're right. You're right.
he kept sliding his foot under the stall to the stall next to him, and the guy kept kicking it away, and the cops got him. So when I was much younger and this stuff was totally illegal, the cops used to look for shopping bags in the stalls, like the big, Macy's shopping bag. And I guess they would stand in the shopping bag, and one guy would do the other, and that was how they hid the 2 feet. And the cops would just kick in the door. And yeah, they were older guys that were telling the story, and they just loved doing it. That was back in the days when the New York City subway had bathrooms, which they haven't had for years. So, and
I'm not sure where this conversation is going, Schmuel, but I don't like it.
you'll get there. It's okay because it ends with the New York Public Library, the big one in Manhattan, right, with the lions out front and whatnot. Their solution to the problem was they just took out the stalls. So when you went there, it was just 2 toilets in the just 2 toilets sitting out in the room with the urinals, and I don't know. I don't know that it stopped anybody. So Oscar Electric, we're doing great down here, Buckman. So I opened up. I don't know if you saw the opening. So I opened up with Keanu's explanation of the ending of the Ashley and Keanu show.
They flew too close to the sun, didn't they?
Yeah, but I doesn't look. Ashley's obviously not a pro at this, right? She's not experienced at it. That it's not her thing. So like, I feel like Keanu should have guided her a little bit more. But Keanu's streams are always, all right, let me turn on the mic and talk, and I'll tell you amazing stories. And she thought Ashley was gonna bring viewers, and it didn't work out that way. So
yeah, from a little bit, they just both didn't seem on the same page for whatever reason. I'm not assigning blame to one or the other, but I thought maybe it had a little more legs than it did 2 or 3 episodes. But YouTube is a fickle mistress, Schmuel, as you know.
Well, they were having. I mean, look, based upon the stuff they were saying, they were both having issues. Because it just wasn't. They weren't connecting, and they weren't having fun. And you know, you could sit there, be like one of my streams where you're just sitting there wondering why am I here, right? Like, what's the point? Why can't we just end this thing?
I know the
And
feeling.
yep, exactly. So that's the deal with that. I wanted to just get into that. I got about uh, I want to go into. I wanted to talk a little bit about karmic,
Okay.
uh, um, which we'll get into in a sec, and somebody else is going to join us, and I'm going to say, yes, Cigarette Jones. It was in the Minneapolis airport, and it was Larry Craig of Idaho. You guys are, you're so spot on. And if any of you remember he had an excuse. I don't remember what it was, but he had some excuse, like he had a leg cramp or something like that. So pretty goddamn funny stuff. And Oscar's here, Stallion 19. Uh, sounds like a Teamster at the Vince Lombardi.
The rest stop in New Jersey.
The yeah,
Yeah.
that's one. And then
That's like the last
the
stop, right? On the turn. Where?
yeah, I think it's the last stop before the
Stop. Yeah.
turnpike ends.
Yeah.
And it's huge, but they just redid it. And I think it goes if I remember correctly, the stalls now go floor to ceiling. And they don't have a door anymore. It's you walk in and it's just like there's an entrance and an exit. And you walk basically behind a wall. So very very family-ish.
Stall talk with Schmuel Buckman. I like where your
Ah,
head's at, buddy.
come on, man. That's the greatest stuff in the world. I used to always find that funny. I went into one on not the Garden State, what, the Palisades Parkway, I think it is. And one of those, it was up like New York, very small. It's the old Fieldstone building and whatnot. And I go in to take a leak, and there was like a handwritten sign up, hanging up. The guy saying he was out there in a blue Toyota. And I went walking out in the parking lot,
Looking
back
for a
to
blue
get in
Toyota? Is that what you
get in
did?
my car going, well, who's the guy in the blue Toyota? Who's the guy? And then I'm like, well, I don't want to be looking for this blue Toyota because then they're going to think ill of me. And Chris Mack, I used to shoot heroin in the handicap stall. You know, Panhandler, you're a good looking guy. I mean, you grew
No.
up, you had to have had, the ones coming, walking up to you and saying shit like, oh, I thought we had a moment. Come on.
No, I'm not really approachable in real life. Like, I always look pissed off. So thankfully, I'm kind of a larger man. So even when I was younger, people didn't really come up to me, thankfully. I wish they'd stop doing it now, to be honest with you. But now I'm just an old man. Not as
Did-
intimidating, Schmuel, unfortunately.
Not, yeah. And then you get, look, you get to my age, they just look through you now. It's like you
Yeah.
don't even exist.
Well, I was thinking about this the other day. So, I'm a single guy or whatever, and you reach a point as a man where you just become invisible, like to the opposite sex. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go shopping or you go to Target or you're doing whatever bullshit you have to do, and like women don't even look at you anymore. Like, even if you are decent looking or happy, like you're just invisible. You're just not even there, and that's just a tough pill to swallow for most men. I think, yeah, not dealing with it well.
A friend of mine told me that you go through a process where women look at you, women look away from you, and then eventually women just look through you.
Yep.
And I'm definitely at that point.
Yeah, I'm there too. Yeah,
And
sad.
it's rough.
Typically,
What does it say? Ashley is used to putting out for rich dudes not performing on a podcast. We don't need that here, Affy. So I worked at a public library. The hobos jacked off on ladies' home journal magazines in the men's restroom. Men are fucking disgusting, right? I mean,
animals, absolute
we'll
animals.
fucking jerk off on anything, and very 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 funny. But And KB, dude, what the fuck, Cigarette Jones? Kiana doesn't go as hard as the other shows. Her southern accent making fun of those ladies was pretty funny. I thought it was pretty pathetic. I think Kiana's got a lot of balls making fun of anyone. And
Yeah, you got beef with. I mean, is it just the Gino relationship that you have beef with Canoe with, or what? See, I don't really have a beef.
they both
I like Keanu, so I don't really have a beef with her that much. I mean, she takes a lot of shit, man. But again, I don't follow her that closely, so I don't know how well deserved it is or not.
I feel like it's well deserved, and she's done a lot of shitty things to a lot of people, particularly other women, and notorious for divulging personal information to other people. She can't help it.
But I mean, that's just women in the Dabbleverse. Like even the chatters, like they get real catty real fast. Or if another potential mid shows up with a Dabbleverse 9, the other ladies get all jealous or all pissed off if they're not getting. I mean, it's just life. I mean, that's just how women are for the most part. They're crueler than most men are.
Mhm.
Like we bust balls harder, but we don't take I don't think we're as mean as the women are.
I would no, I disagree. I think we'll
Really?
go. I think we'll go more for the throat. I think their stuff will maybe hurt more because it's more personal, But she's just. I saw her do stand up one time, and it was just painful. It was painful to watch, and but in the Geno connection, of course, right? I mean,
Yeah, I know you have beef with Gino. Is that better? Mint said I was low. I think I was too far away from the mic.
oh, I thought I didn't hear that. I'm 6 minutes behind.
The chat, shocking. So you're right on pace to be 30 minutes behind.
In the chat. Let's
Shut the fuck up, Schmuel.
Agreed.
Shut the fuck up, Schmuel.
All right. We wanted to check and see how that thing's going. So it's interesting. I noticed with Karmic the other night and the super tips. So apparently I can put other names in, but it won't show the amount because I'm obviously not paying to super tip my own show. But I was like watching it the other night. I'm thinking this guy is getting super tips without money listed, and some have and some don't. And I'm wondering, like, is he sending them to himself?
Yeah, can't you just type in any name? What I mean, it keeps your YouTube profile picture if you're connected to YouTube, but you can type in whatever name you want in the field, right? You can change the name.
Yeah, you can go up to apparently you can go and change the name in the field. I have never tried it, so I don't really know that you can, but I've been told that you can, and I've been told that that was a Joey C thing, that Joey would do that to make people think he was getting more super chats or super tips than he wasn't. Affy, very shady business practice. The whole super tip, super chat, YouTube thing. Frankly, I don't think that there's the super tip thing. I kind of like dealing with because I know I know who I'm dealing with. It makes a huge difference to me, and just like because of Stuttering John, we all know where Melton lives, so you can't go to Mr. Google's house.
Yeah.
You froze, pal. And we're off. And we're back.
Yeah, I don't know. It keeps saying it's syncing. I don't know if it's my internet. I have pretty good internet, so I don't know what's going on here.
There you go. Your camera's a little fuzzy. It's going in and out. So,
Let's try something.
All right. Hey, Kina. Very shady business practice. Keanu has thick skin. Major props for that. Look, the thing I found so funny about Keanu when I saw her perform was I've rarely seen a person as comfortable on stage as she is. She had nothing, but she was super comfortable up there. And it was wild because it was like none of her stuff was related to the crowd at all. And it was just like, it really was, you were watching people like wondering when she was going to get off. But luckily she was hosting. But I just think she's crap. So there we go.
Have you ever had her on? Have you ever spoken with her like on stream or anything, or just at shows, or have you ever had a
Just no,
conversation
I
at
never
all with her?
really had much of a conversation with her. But I've seen the stuff that she's done. I've seen the stuff that she's been engaged in. I don't know. I don't need anything else. Kina K, Panhandler is all right. She also comes out of the New York Comedy Club and comedy clubs, comedy scene, and so her reputation precedes her. So it's not like there's not a history there. And the stories that you've heard are
Yeah.
the same stories that I've heard. So Ashley Cummings apparently has died, and she wants us to tell Lady KB. Keanu has done TP. You think she's going to have stage fright? I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh at that, but that's very funny. Keanu has a presence. I guess, yeah. I guess. I mean, she's definitely comfortable on stage. I'll give her that. And she definitely doesn't have any. I get embarrassed on here, like
I'm
Saturday
sure.
night when I run out of things to say, and I'm like, oh, all right. And I got to give her credit, man. She just keeps going, and for hours and hours, and to only a couple of people.
Yeah, she rolls
So
with it pretty good. I mean, even the whole stuff with, what they're doing with whatever her OF pictures and shit. I mean, she kind of just rolls with it, man. I don't know if I could, deal with that. I mean, she seems to handle it well, and she takes a lot of shit.
yeah, well, I mean, look, she's got the OnlyFan pictures thing going on, right? And her whole thing was is that Kevin Brennan revenged porned her with those when he put them up. That
Yeah.
was what it was. It was a revenge porn. It was revenge porn. And now you got Aaron, who actually pled guilty to it, and she's like all buds with Aaron. And so that's I think the part that makes people crazy. I mean, it makes me nuts.
Yeah, I don't
You know?
understand how anybody could align himself with Aaron. So, yeah, that's the one thing where I definitely don't agree with her on, and just going back and forth or whatever, because he's a real piece of shit. So,
Yeah, I do find it funny with like people that get the people will get accused of clout chasing, and it's like if you are clout chasing, you're chasing it from from that guy is definitely the wrong guy to try to get it from.
yeah, I thought they said like the last two nights or his evening shows had less than 100 viewers or something like that. I mean, yeah, he's
Yeah,
great.
he's doing great. And if you don't believe me, just ask him.
Just ask him exactly.
And I I I get irritated watching him. He's like one of the few people that on the internet that I actually get like I will get angry at as I watch them because I know so much of it are lies. And I also I dislike the way that he handles the situation with his kids, because we don't really hear about the kids unless he wants to use them either as a sword or a shield, you
Yeah,
know?
no, definitely shitty, for sure.
So,
Just even with the whole HRO thing to put his daughter in there or whatever is, I mean, talk about weak, soft men bullshit. That's ridiculous.
what do you call it? So it was interesting because somebody said to me back he was going to, uh, when he was going to court, right? In the HRO, and he had subpoenaed, or one of the witnesses was going to be Slam Piece. Somebody had said to me that the reason why was that they were broken up and they were going to claim that they had split up because of all the harassment, and that's how it was affecting his life. And I it seemed too skeptical. I was too skeptical at the time to believe it, but now it looks like that might actually be the case.
But I mean, could you imagine putting that in an HRO because you got dumped or relationship ended, like it's somebody else's fault? I mean, he's just so many excuses for everything. He's got no. I've never seen a man or met a man with so little accountability at all. At all. It's wild.
You know, the
Wild.
question I always ask myself is like, how do you live with yourself, like, at the end of the day with that, you know? Like, you're like the laughing stock of the internet, and everybody in the world knows you as the guy that licked cum or got cucked or, you know, all those things, and yet every day he's there telling us how to do it.
Yeah, he keeps doubling down, man. It's pretty amazing. Like it's the only thing I can say is wild. Like he just keeps. He's the best. Everybody else coping and seething. This is how he does a show. I mean, he's just. I don't know how he does it, man. I mean, he's cracked. He's totally cracked and lost the thread for sure. I mean, when he
Yeah.
eventually really crashes, it's going to be amazing. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I do wonder will he crash or will they put him away? Like, is he going to do jail time? That just feels to me like something that's going to happen.
I could see him getting 30 days, 28 days, something like that.
You know, or like the weekend thing.
Yeah, especially the way he's playing games with the continuances and keep, trying to get new lawyers. I mean, fucking around with the court. Eventually, a judge is going to be like, "What are you going to get sick of it and just make an example of him?" I mean, there's a pattern here of him continuing to fuck up with these, not following what the judge's orders or his probation orders and this, that, the other thing. Yeah, I bet it's hard to say. Minnesota's so fucking liberal, but I could see him catching a little something, a little time, maybe in county.
Yeah, I could too. I think just because, and I've said it before, pissing off, like pissing off a judge is the worst thing you can do, right? Because even if they don't deserve it, they want respect,
Right.
And
Absolutely.
so, I'm watching the Stuttering John stuff with that lawsuit, and it's being handled in New York State Supreme Court, which in New York State is the lowest court, right? The highest court is the Court of Appeals. And the joke among lawyers is that anybody who's a judge couldn't make it as a lawyer because they'd have to take a pay cut to be a judge. And it's people that are either can't make it as a lawyer and are really broke, or they want respect. And you got to do it. You got to eat shit sometimes.
Yeah, it's no fun being in the courtroom for whatever the reason.
Right. So
definitely not cheap.
Oscar Electric. Maybe you can help Ashley with my unblocking. I don't know what else to do. That's wild.
Yeah, somebody's got somebody blocked and they're just playing the telephone game in chat. They were doing this the other night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not annoying at all.
So, Big W's here. That's the one. I haven't wanted to bother him, but that's like the one guy I've wanted to ask on a bunch. And
do it.
But I don't feel like I'm not Clowntown worthy yet. So
haven't you been on the show before? Haven't you been on Clowntown before?
No. When I first when it first came up, there was a lot of Liam, and I just was like, everywhere I went, I was arguing with Liam, and I just it grew tiring, and I didn't want to do that. And I think the show was pretty new at the time, so it just didn't feel like it was a place for me. And now I understand. Oh, look at this. We've got there he is. Do we have a picture, or we just haven't? Are you there? Are you there? All right.
Yes, Affy, you're right. Sorry, I was just answering something in the chat.
Okay.
100% Affy.
You're not allowed to look at the chat.
I'm not? No. Well, there's some passive aggressiveness going on, so I can't help myself.
Oh, really? Jason Bentley, $20. Was Jake Hudson not available tonight?
Thanks, buddy. That's my BFF.
Jason, thank you very much. And to answer your question, Jason, no, he wasn't.
He would be a better guest. I'm not gonna lie. So
That's so fucking funny. Oh man, Bentley is fantastic. I like him.
douche.
But Panhandler, you certainly bring the energy. I mean, that's totally
me.
what we're
That's
looking
me.
for.
Very high energy. Yeah.
I'm waiting for Ava to hop in. So, all right. Chris Mack, it can't be revenge porn when you've made your nudes available to anyone with an internet connection and a credit card upon payment of a nominal fee. There has to be an element of betrayal of trust. Yeah, I think we all get that, and we got it when Kevin put him up. It was pretty shitty of Kevin to put him up, but let's be honest. Keanu's going to turn any situation to her advantage, right? Like, oh, he did this. I'll never talk to him again. Gino went on for 7, 8, 9 months about what a piece of shit Kevin was, and then what do you got? You got, Gino's would be on Kevin all day long if he could, and Keanu's on there as a regular.
Yeah, I've said it before. I mean, Kevin likes Gino. You can tell when Gino's on the show, he makes Kevin laugh, or laughing at him, or makes him laugh. It doesn't matter. I mean, I think Gino and Kevin are good together. Again, Gino just can't hold it together for more than 5 minutes without losing his goddamn mind, and then Kevin just takes him off screen.
Yeah, and it's kind of a thing with Gino. Like if you've seen it perform, the thing at Stoney's that they were doing, that they talked about, it was very much what I saw Gino do a year ago. And it's like he wants to be a motivational speaker, not a comedian. I don't know how else to put it.
But if he just went out to Alaska to do shows, I mean, it's not cheap to fly to Alaska, so I can't imagine he's taking, a loss there flying out there to do gigs unless something else was going on that we don't know about.
No, I mean, I don't think he's taking a loss, but I also understand that it doesn't, because it's so expensive, the gig itself doesn't pay very well. And let's welcome in our friend Ava. And
hey, what's up?
What's going on, Ava?
Not too much. How are y'all doing?
We're good. You guys are I guess you guys know each other and
I'm a fan of Panhandler.
You're the one. That'll change fast. Don't worry about it.
No, that's fine.
No, he's definitely
he's a rational actor in the space. And so if he were to critique me, I would take it in and take it very seriously.
One night we'll have to do a politics show, because we'll definitely get into it, because our politics are very, very different. So
that would be fun.
Yeah.
We'll do that outside of the Dabbleverse, because no one wants to hear that shit.
Or Schmuel's a commie too, so commie and social.
He's not. No, he's a right-wing freak.
Yeah, that's what Ava thinks. I'm a right-wing freak, but I'm not, and you know that. So, and yesterday I was getting all sorts of shit about Epstein, the Epstein stuff, and I don't know if it's because of you, Panhandler, and your Carolina connection, but all of a sudden my Twitter feed has been showing up a lot of North Carolina stuff.
Yeah, you replied to something about, I forgot, I tweeted a local guy or retweeted or replied to it, and you replied to that. So yeah, the algorithm probably picked it up, because I think he replied back to you. It became kind of a thread, and now you're probably going to get a lot of Charlotte bullshit.
I was getting it was fun, because it was a lot of bullshit about he was describing what MAGA was, and I was like, do you know Kevin Brennan? Thinking of the thing, and then I went on with his other stuff, and he's like, he said, anyway, he goes on, he does this explanation of MAGA, I do the Kevin Brennan thing, and then he comes back and he's telling me all sorts blah blah blah, and so then I put up the Ron White quote that you can't take a class, you can't take a pill, right? You just can't fix stupid, and then later on a George Carlin one about if you think half the people if you think the average person is stupid, take half and they're even stupider. And it was really fucking annoying. Cool. Thanks, Big W. I appreciate that. Oh, and let's put that back up for a second. I made a little mistake. Liam's dead to Clowntown now, Schmuel. Which way is it though? Is he dead to them or are they dead to him? and he's got a special coming out.
Can you check
So-
in with their comms team and see if I'm dead to them too? I'm not really sure where I fit in that.
Weren't
No,
you
I don't
on
think-
a few weeks ago, Ava? Weren't you on like 2 weeks ago?
Well, I feel like I was like banned, and then he had me on, and then I don't know. It's weird. I'm getting weird DMs about it, but I don't know what's real or not.
You never do know.
No, it's not from anyone from the show, but yeah.
Right. You never know. But
do you live in Charlotte, Panhandler?
I do dox myself. Yes, I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina.
I'm from Greenville, South Carolina.
I've heard you said that before. I've heard
That's
you
so
mention that on
weird.
another stream,
That's
yeah.
so weird to meet someone that lives there. That like, I feel like Charlotte is just a business. It's just a bank place, and there's no real humans there. I've
Well,
played like.
I'm sorry, I wasn't born here. I've only been here 10 years, but it's changed a lot just in those 10 years. So, but it is it's the biggest banking hub on the East Coast. So you're right about that.
Yeah, that's funny. Do you like it?
I do. I mean, I do kind of, and I don't. I mean, just like anything else, a big city, it's got its pros and cons. You know, there's a lot of cool areas. I think North Carolina's a great state. I mean, you have the mountains 3 hours away, or the beach is 3 hours away. North Carolina has everything, so it is a great state to live. It's got all 4 seasons and everything else. You could do without the state income tax, but other than that, no, it's a decent. I like it. Of all the places I've lived, it's probably my favorite state so far.
Asheville is like one of my favorite places in the world.
Asheville's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So, Abba, you said did you say South Carolina or North Carolina?
South.
Greenville, South Carolina. But like that's
where,
like, go ahead.
That's Cumia country, right?
That's the weirdest thing is that I'm not gonna dox him, but like specifically where like they say it like it's a town, but like where he lives is literally like 5 minutes away from where I grew up and where I went to elementary school and shit.
But I'm sure it's changed a whole ton. I don't know how long you've been gone, but Greensboro's been blowing up the last few years. I mean,
well, I left there and like moved to Boston and then Portland, and then I moved back there because I was like, I want to go make it like I wanted to be a part of like an art scene there, and then it got so fucked up after 2016 that I moved back to Portland. So I know kind of roughly where it's at, but from what I understand, it's way worse than when I left it. It's what they're dealing with right now is what cities like Portland and New York dealt with, where they had an opportunistic like governor like Nikki Haley that let all the real estate investors in. So the real estate is actually it's just as expensive in Greenville now as it's sometimes more than Portland. And so they're now getting angry at the traffic and all the implants and all the gentrification. But it's rednecks dealing with that, so it's fascinating. But people like Kumir are fine.
But there's no way to keep investors and stuff out. I mean, it's unless you ban developments and things like that, right?
Governments will never do that because the impact fees and all the permitting fees and everything else they get. The governments will, even small city or townships, will never stop. They'll never. Even I live kind of in the suburb of Charlotte, and it's grown humongously. And obviously, infrastructure doesn't keep up. Blah blah blah. But we're going to bore everybody to death with our politics. So I'll stop before I get on a rant.
I would argue that like a good model to look at though is cities like Portland, where Portland has dealt with that real estate boom and then the corruption with our politicians about real estate investors, but they have made like bipartisan legislation that have made our rents are going downward in a way where they're not like in Greenville yet, and it's through like sensible relationships between landlords and the government. Like I ran for the House seat here and I got really obsessed with that issue, and yeah, there's a way to speak to where if you're not like a far leftist that just wants to demonize all landlords, there's a way to have a collaborative pragmatic system. And I think that we did that with policing here too, and that's why you don't see that kind of chaos. There's like middle ground if people don't if people are willing to come to the table. I'll shut up now. Sorry.
No, it's just that part of the thing with Portland is why the rents are going down is you're also having a significant decline in population.
That's not true.
So the demand is there.
That's not true.
And
look it up. That's false.
I just looked. I'm looking at it right now. The city experienced a notable decrease between 2020 and 2023, but this trend appears to be slowing.
if you look at major cities from 2020 to 2023, it's based on the COVID reaction. So there were people that left these cities, but if you look at 2023 now back to 2025, it's back on an incline, but the rents are still going on a downward trajectory.
Okay, it would, but still, I mean, you lost 30, 40,000 people. That's a lot of people to lose. And
They're all
600.
back, but they're back, and it's more, and but that's understandable because people didn't like the lockdowns, and that's fair.
No,
But
but I got you. But nobody liked the lockdowns anywhere. But I mean, the deal is now it's you're talking that it went from 655 to 630, and then it went back up in the last year to date. It's gone back up about 9,000 people.
this is the last thing I could talk to y'all for hours about this, so we should do it in another place.
All right.
I would say though that like Portland was a failure during COVID, not only because of their lockdowns, but because of the social justice angle that let those protests happen during the lockdowns, and that was the previous governor. Our new governor, Tina Kotek, has fixed a lot of that and rebuilt this trust with the police association and the neighborhood associations where people are being corrective. And if you notice, like, you don't see Portland in the news because she's not being antagonistic with the administration, and it's because she is trying to fix these things. So that's kind of why you see that. But I was just adding that it was especially bad here because we had these crazy protesters that were out of control on top of the COVID lockdown thing that made people move out.
Yeah, we had similar things here in New York, but also too in New York, it could only go so far before they started doing things. You weren't, and New York's a little strange, a little different. The setup is different, so you're not going to be able to take over a whole. You're not going to come up with a CHOP, or something like that kind of zone.
No,
here.
y'all had much more order during that. Like, it was chaos here.
And right, but we had a park that people took, Zuccotti Park, that the anti-Wall Street guys took over for a really long time. And really what ended that had less to do with
Bloomberg.
had less to do with the cops and more to do with what was going on in there. And because everyone's trying to be nice, but a whole bunch of homeless people and stuff moved in there, and they were just like the sort of white middle class kids that were there started to leave. And then once they started to leave, it was like the cops were like, hey, yeah, we can do something.
I would love to talk to y'all about that if you're speaking to the Occupy thing, but we shouldn't do it here because everyone will be annoyed by me and they'll blame me for this conversation.
Well, yeah, and then they'll whatever. But no, I'm happy. We'll be happy to do that. Hey, did you want to talk about the interview thing, or is that not something you want to talk about?
Did you tell anybody about that?
Not a soul.
Okay, good. No, because like I don't know if you ever like negotiated with booking people like in that. It's like I told you that it wasn't happening, but it is. It's just like a longer term thing. Like scheduling a show like of that scale is like.
Gotcha. So,
but the weirdest thing is that to book with him, you have to know his number, and he's like really open to it. And like I wrote him a thing that like it's not supposed to be antagonistic. So, but yeah, we're talking about Tucker Carlson.
All right. So the thing that we said we didn't want to tell anybody, we just told everybody. So there you go.
Well, I feel like we're talking about so much, and then coming out of the politics thing, I just don't want to just torture your audience.
No, I was going to tell them that you'd be coming on here and we'd be talking about that. So,
but this Schmuel asked me to come on to talk about the trans thing, and I never said this to you, but I do feel like you probably don't want that because it will make your people will be hostile in the chat, and then if I have a couple beers and read the chat, then I'll end up arguing with them, and it'll become this thing that you might not want.
I won't let you read the chat. I'll take.
Okay. I've gotten good at that for the past 3 days.
I would love that personally. I say do it.
No, I think it would be fun. I think if you could keep it together for the first hour without reading the chat.
Get stealth on with her.
That's how it always goes. I keep it together and then I read the chat in the last hour and end up starting some shit with somebody.
Chris Mack says, we're already turning on you.
Yeah, I feel it. I'm turning on myself as I'm talking.
Ava,
No,
did
you're
you
fine.
squash it with Crumb? I know you guys were going at it for a few weeks. Are you guys BFFs now or what?
The like Crumb and that GGG person were kind of a personal checkpoint for me, where it was like, you don't need to engage with these two losers, and there's no. And people tried to set up these shows where they'd book me to argue and debate with them, and I was like, I don't need to defend my existence to these two losers. So no, I've just kind of been avoiding him. Like, I've never blocked anyone, but the closest is Stealth and Crumb, and I just am choosing to not engage with them.
All right.
How do you feel about that strategy?
Yeah, I mean, either you really lean into it or you ignore them. I mean, there's only really two ways to go. I mean, you're not going to change anybody's mind, especially in this world,
If they weren't
or
like
the real world.
if they weren't like sad figures, then I probably would engage with them. But
I thought Crumb I thought Crumb apologized and he was trying for whatever he did say. Again, I was on the show, but I saw you guys kind of going back and forth in chat, so I don't have the whole history. But
Yeah,
but
You
I
know
thought
what?
he tried to.
I don't want to
apologize.
speak for Crumb, but seems to be doing what Ava is doing at the moment.
I'm happy to have that. You know, me and
Just sit
Box
back
move
for a
forward.
while and let things go. So Nuga, have me on. I'll talk about the trans thing as Ava.
I would love to watch that.
Be very funny. But I'm actually more. I'm interested in the like how it happened, right? How you went from growing up to your surgery and the process, and the stuff you went through. That's what interests me. And
I'm happy to talk about that if Panhandler thinks we should, and if your chat does. But otherwise, we could schedule it for another time.
yeah, we'll do it another time because it
Okay.
might go on a while, and I don't want to stay on too late tonight.
Fair enough.
And there you go. KB is talking about, my dad used to say, when you argue with a fool, who's the fool?
Exactly. You know what was happening was, like, I'm about to graduate, so like I'm taking courses in school that make you have to volunteer, and so I was volunteering in these like settings that sometimes involve like homeless trans people, and so I was being like hypersensitive, and it was showing in these appearances I was doing, and I was just taking out anger on them, which is not what you're supposed to do in the Dabbleverse. I was like hypersensitive about it because I would be spending time with like people that were kicked out of their house for being trans and stuff. So then I started kind of projecting that. So I apologize to everyone that did deal with that.
And the audience is different, right? Like I said that to Ashley about the people that you're speaking to. It's like, because when somebody says something or is insulting or whatever, her tendency seems to be to want to talk it out or to explain, and what happens here is the more you explain, the digger the hole you dig for yourself, because nobody wants an explanation. No, they want the drama, they want the fighting, even if it's not the other person. Third parties and other people are in there. I mean, you're not going to get, nobody's going to clip you if you're just having a nice little conversation and getting along.
But don't you feel like we actually can't make that assessment? Like, when I just got off work, and I was on the last hour of work, I was listening to, it was the first time someone just made a show about me where they're like, I'm done with Avariza. And it's the co-host of Nick's show. And I was like listening to like the way he was interpreting an appearance I was on. And it was just like, I was like, what? It was just like, you have to remember that people just like hear completely, like, he just didn't realize I was joking about anything. And it was like, yeah, I just don't assume they're unanimously the audience is taking any like angle in about when we speak to each other in these spaces.
Slow down. Nick has a co-host. Are we talking about Mumbling Nick? Who are you?
Yeah,
talking
Mumbling.
about?
Yeah, it's about Cryptid.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's a real,
I don't know who that is.
Loser. But yeah, when I was done, I was like, this is a. Wait, I'm gonna be mean. Never mind. It was just like
Mean.
It was about Jake Hudson, and it was like.
Don't be mean.
And I was just taking they made this video about Jake. Is this interesting or not?
No, this is interesting to me. Go ahead. This is because I heard their show the other night. So go ahead.
So Nick like makes this video about Jake Hudson, which I kind of interpret to be kind of tongue in cheek, like in the sense that I don't think Nick is like seriously like trying to get into like under like teaching Jake Hudson how to monetize his content. It's like it's Jake. And so I took it as a tongue in cheek thing where Nick was kind of busting balls or whatever. And so I just took the absolutist position against it and went on their show. And I was like, Jake can do whatever he wants to do. And you're wrong if you criticize it, which is the way to kind of deal with that. But like, do you get what I'm saying? Where it's like, who, like, why, like, Jake Hudson's an anomaly. And like, we shouldn't be advising him on how to monetize his content or like, you know, or if he should block someone or not. It's Jake, right?
Yes,
No?
it's interesting. You're saying what I thought when I was I don't know whether you're watching the video. I listened to. It was up in the middle of the night on Saturday, and at about 3 a.m, Nick did a stream sort of chastising Jake, and then Cryptid and Nick Sunday night did another show,
Yeah.
and I actually listened to both of them, and you know, at some point, I'm just like, it's Jake. That's what I kept thinking. You know, it's
Yeah.
like,
So I just think, I mean, it's so silly to like deep dive that, but for me, I was just like, you're wrong. There's nothing you can do that's right. Jake is right all the time. I even like literally said that I'm a fascist and that Jake is king, which is like all kind of like tongue in cheek. And like this Liquid guy just did this live stream about me like literally an hour ago, and he was going through all these appearances I made where it would come up and like taking it seriously, and it was just like, dude, like, like I'm not actually like I'm not like staking a moral claim on you and Nick. We're talking about Jake, like,
yeah.
yeah.
Victoria says Jake has no teeth. Well, teeth are overrated, Victoria. That's what I've been told.
It's tongue in cheek, but I do believe that it's like Jake. I think Jake's one of the most original, amazing broadcasters ever, and he can do whatever he wants. But like for us to get into the weeds with him about the way he does his show is retarded.
I always find it interesting that when people say, "Oh, if you just did this or you just did that," right, to other people, and I'm like, yeah, if they did what you want them to do is stop being interesting, right? Like
Yeah.
that's Jake being Jake is what makes Jake interesting.
Yeah, like how could we get into the head of him, into his head, and like make tweaks about it? And for someone like Liquid to do that, it's just bizarre. Because I mean, he's like Jake wears his everything out on his sleeve. It's just out there, and like people would like to say he's manipulative and vindictive, and I'm sure those are happen here and there because he blocks people or whatever. But it's all out there, you know what I mean? And someone like Liquid who like has an AI avatar and has to like live in the digital world because his real life is so depressing to him, to critique Jake is bizarre to me.
Well, yeah, and I thought it's funny. Really, it's not the Jake thing. It was the cryptid guy. So I've only heard the show a few times, and the one time was with the Joey C interview, right? And then it was the other night, and I think I've heard some of his political stuff, and it just seemed to me like he doesn't have any like I was going to say intellectual awareness, but emotional awareness, if that's the right word.
Absolutely, that's exactly it. Like he
It's like,
doesn't. He does. Sorry, go ahead.
go ahead. No, you go. You go.
I mean, it's shitty. I mean, like, I do think that, like, after watching that, I believe he has Asperger's. Like, he does not have an emotional connection, and he cannot pick up on emotional cues on issues. And I've argued with him about politics before, and now I'm realizing, oh, there's no point because he's a nihilist because he does not understand that people could actually have an emotional assessment of political issues, whether you're on the right or left. Like, if you can at least appreciate that people on the left, that there are some people that actually care about the issues they're talking about, and it's not all, you know, performative, then that's one thing. But like when he analyzes politics like that, he doesn't have that capability of like that calculation. So for him, he's just a nihilist, and so nothing matters. So who cares? and just whatever's best for me. And it's offensive sometimes, but if for me, like understanding that there might be a different dimension to it makes me not as angry with him. But yeah, he's like, he probably agrees with Handler on politics.
I mean, I don't know that I would disagree. I don't know how much of the politics I disagree with him, but I'm always like either on the left or the right. Is whenever you think you're 100% correct, you're not, and the thing that gets left out of every plan and every program is that we're dealing with people. So when you're doing something large scale, you're dealing with averages and statistics and things like that, and you could have one person that could throw it off, or you again, like, I don't want to get, but you could encourage people into negative behavior without even thinking about it.
Absolutely.
And like the condo I'm in is an HOA, and we don't have any issues or any problems, but the previous president was somebody who really needed to be involved in every aspect of everybody's life, and it's like, oh, it could be a great place or it could be a hellhole. So,
but he doesn't even engage on politics on that level. Like he'll be like, yeah, but like he voted for Trump the second time, but not the first time. And that to me is like a fascinating, but he doesn't, if you like talk to him about any of these issues, he'll like, well, I don't know, it doesn't really matter, or like it. So yeah, but that's the same thing we were talking about earlier. It's like, oh, why are you even arguing with this person? But he made a video about me, which was just bizarre, and that's, I guess, what I was saying.
Oh, well, we'll have to watch it.
Yeah, you should.
I definitely will. But no, but I just, the whole Jake thing, it's going to lead me into something else, I promise. But the whole Jake thing, like, there was this judging of Jake, which is one thing, but like my attitude is, Jake's got problems beyond, like, you're not going to fix. We're not fixing Jake. We're not talking about. He's not looking for advice, and he's Jake. If you give him money, he's going to want more. It's what Jake does. He is who he is, and they're talking about he shouldn't be blocking people. And then I guess it was, I think Ashley was on one night. She was arguing with somebody in the chat, and she's like, she didn't want the person on in the chat.
Dude,
go ahead.
That was one of the people that was on this episode that I joined to be like, you guys are a bunch of fucking like yentas. It was like, it's this guy named Krishan. He is like, if you look on his thing, it's like, I'm a Western chauvinist. Like, he's one of these guys. He's a white Rastafarian guy that's like a Trump guy. And like his whole thing is like women belong in the kitchen. Like, he's like that. But he was like a Jake loyalist, but like, because Jake was trying to, Jake probably was hot for Ashley and she told him to block Krishan. So he just blocked him. And then now Krishan is like assessing Jake's finances, assessing Jake's like everything. And it's like, you're just acting like a little broad. You're just butthurt because he blocked you. You're supposed to be like a Western chauvinist, dude. Yeah. So that's a huge part of it.
And isn't part of being a Jake fan to be blocked at some point or another?
I know, and I'm upset that I haven't been blocked yet. I was saying yesterday, it's like Rickles, like when he roasts you, it's like an honor. Like I haven't got that honor from Jake.
Right.
I can't imagine a forensic audit of Jake's finances is going to take too long. So that must have been a brief conversation.
It really wasn't, and you should watch it. It was psychotic. Like they really were like, he's on disability, and like they were like, hey, well, he did a buy me a coffee, and got this money. And they're like doing that. And it was just like, guys, like, what are you doing? Like, stop. But I was trying to do it with humor, but and I felt like Nick understood I was busting his balls, but like that liquid guy took it like literally.
Handler, talk for a second. I just tried to adjust your mic. I want to see if it's any better.
I don't know if the mic was too far away, so I saw a couple of comments in the chat if it's any better or not.
I think for some reason you were turned down on this end.
I think your levels are good.
Good move.
I think your levels are good. It's just that I'm annoying and talking too much.
No,
yeah, I don't have much to say about Jake. I mean, the guy's up against it in real life, but I can only take him for about 30 seconds on stream, wandering around the house like a lunatic and repeating himself. I mean, makes me autistic watching him. So I can't, like, I'm not trying to be mean, but I just can't with Jake. I just can't.
Well, I'm
But-
like you. I don't ever watch. I honestly, I never watch him. I never listened to him. I only listened the night that Ashley was on because people said that Ashley was on with Jake, and I wanted to hear it. And but she was having an argument, and
Yeah, I saw that like, where Ashley wanted Daytois or Nighttois or whatever her name is. You know, I don't know what her name is now. Gone or whatever, and Jake freaking out that he didn't want either one to leave. Yeah, and then I was like, what is going on here? Like, I got to get a new fucking hobby. What am I doing?
right. And these guys
watching this shit.
They were basically, their thing is like, you can't tell me to block anybody, and Jake shouldn't. And my thing is like, if two people aren't getting along, like you as a guest, if you're appearing on a show, if there's somebody in the chat that you don't like, the host doesn't want to block them or remove them, you can leave,
right?
You know, and it's like anybody, like and so
there's a risk inherent coming on. There's going to be haters. People are going to shit on you. You're going to get shitty messages or shitty X posts or emails or whatever the fuck. I mean, that's part of you're going to get your balls busted. I mean, if you put your face on camera or say something stupid or whatever, give your opinion, no matter what, somebody's going to disagree and just crack on you because that's the Dabbleverse or the Hackverse, or that's just the internet.
Can I just add one more thing? Like, I feel like Jake is one of the real alpha males in the
Shut the fuck up.
And like when he blocks people, it's just like, fuck you, I'm blocking you, whatever. And I feel like he just cucked all of those, like Nick and all of them. Like, he's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, there's something oddly like.
Yeah, but the deal is that's not alpha male. Like,
I know. I just want to pretend like it is.
I know, but alpha male knows how to handle situations with a little bit of finesse. So a true alpha, you know. But no, the deal is right. Simple answer: don't read the chat when you're the guest. Leave it to the host. Ray DeVito. I will go back to Ray in a sec, but
Jesus.
Anyway,
Jake to Ray. What? I mean,
I just
fucking bomb this show even worse than we're already bombing.
I got fucking ADD. We're doing great.
Yeah, are we bombing? We
got 26 people watching. When it was just you and me alone, we had like 15.
Yeah, well, you picked to go up against Patrick and the gay Muppet. I mean, what, was Rogan busy? You didn't want to go up against Rogan?
I go at the same time. I hate to tell you this, but I go at the same time every week. They decided to go up against me.
They're gunning for you, Schmuel. They're gunning for you.
Trying to stick it to me. Ray, when I would go on Ray's show, Ray would scream at me if I read the chat. Like, even if my eyes like glanced over towards it, he would yell at me because he's convinced if you read the free chat, then nobody super tips. Oh, and your super chats, I guess.
I think Patrick has the same rule where he won't, not like he has guests that much in the studio anymore, but he doesn't want people reading the chat either.
Oh, I never thought about it on that level. Oh.
Me either.
Yeah, but it's going to depend upon the size of your audience too.
Yeah, nobody's going to fucking super chat Ray anyway. So what's he worried about? He needs all the fucking help he can get. He's a fucking dumpster fire.
He does make a couple bucks. Hey man, he's been killing it with the Hope shows.
Yeah, I wonder why. Hope's got a huge rack. Yeah,
and she's
crazy. She's fucking crazy in the shithouse rat. Yeah, absolutely. Perfect woman. Yeah.
That's his roommate.
For the summer. It's such a weird for the summer, just until the end of this month or something.
She has it's her apartment. And it's like a 3-bedroom apartment, I think, or something along those lines. And so she's the leaseholder, and she sublets it to other people.
What's your guys' take on Pat Dixon?
Strap yourself in, because Schmuel is the ultimate Pat Dixon ball washer. So just go get a cup of coffee or a sandwich, because Schmuel is about to do some serious lapping. Sorry, Schmuel.
I'm going on a show tomorrow for the first time, and every time I go on these shows, I don't know all this backlog story stuff. So I was like, maybe I should get briefed on Dixon.
What show are you going on? You're going on Dixon show?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, just go and enjoy yourself.
What's your take on him?
He's a great host, and I think he's a pretty good guy. He's eclectic. He's a little strange in the way strange is not the right word. He's different. Like,
eclectic.
if you're looking for a guy that you want to like comfort you and soothe you and whatnot, he's not the guy to do it. But he's also not the guy to go off on you like a Kevin Brennan. And he's smart.
Yeah, he seems classy. But then I've just found out that he like punched that Gino guy and all that.
Well, he did punch the Gino guy. I mean, that's a fact. And you know, I don't know that. I mean, does he? I would imagine. I don't know if he regrets it or doesn't regret it. I don't talk to him about that. But he's not he was not at that time. He was not the only person to engage in a physical altercation with Gino. He was the only one that did it where there was a camera.
Well, if you're gonna punch somebody, make sure there's a camera there.
And yeah, that was the funny thing about. I heard Gino the other day going, I didn't go to court. I didn't go to court, and he did, because he was like trying to defend Aaron somehow, and he did. That's why there's a restraining order that runs until the end of this year. So,
Panhandler, what's your view on him?
I like Pat. I mean, I think he's good. He's definitely different. Like Schmuel said, he's pretty calm and collected and thoughtful. He's not going to get riled, or even when he's mad, he doesn't like yell or scream, or he's not performative except on his piano type thing. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I think your politics are very different. So I don't know what the topics are going to be or what you're going to talk about, or if you're just going to talk about the Carmax shenanigans with Felicia. I'm not sure what Pat. I haven't watched Pat as much since he's come back to YouTube because he streams at odd hours. So at least for me on the East Coast. So no, it's a good show to go on. Like I said, I like Pat.
I watched like his last 3 episodes, and then he played Styx Mr. Roboto for me on piano, and I was like, this is all right. But yeah,
Chris Mack. I don't co-sign everything they do because that'd be gay. Very funny, Chris Mack. He's talking about Gino and Pat. Yeah, and I mean, look. That's one of the things that I notice in the Dabbleverse is if you say, "Oh, Melton had a good show," then you're the Melton ball washer, and then the next day, if you say this guy had a good show, you're that guy's ball washer.
Well, Panhandler, do you want to apologize to Schmuel for calling him a ball washer?
No, not at all. It's a fact, and that's fine.
Fact.
It's a fact.
My favorite line about Pat Dixon and the punch and everything came from Jason Bentley, who was like, Pat's a good old Southern boy from Tennessee. That shit just happens.
But he's another one. I mean, those two might as well be going steady, Bentley and Dixon. It's another ball. You two can have a competition. You hear that, Bentley? Fat bastard. He's still listening. Probably fell asleep.
Did y'all already talk about Karmic and Felicia today?
No. We have not.
Is there anything fun there?
So the only thing I wanted to talk about with Karmic is apparently I am a topic of Karmic's interest in as much as I'm a pedophile and a creep and a shit fetishist and all this just all sorts of stuff. And people keep wanting me to go after him. I keep getting DMs like, you've got to address this. You've got to take care of it. I am finding this whole Karmic, Felicia, Karmic arc so boring. I think Felicia is evil incarnate, and she's just taking advantage of this guy, and he's falling for it, and his spiral down is going to be rough.
But it definitely stepped up a little bit today with the OG queen of the Dabbleverse, Ari Jane, getting involved. Like I said, I haven't really followed it, but saw a bunch of tweets or posts about that today on X. I guess Karmic went after Ari Jane for some reason. And now we're showing old tweets of Karmic shitting on Felicia, or people are pulling those up or whatever.
I saw that today. That was like my update. Was that like Yeah. Well, I mean, those are pretty damning. Or
Yeah,
that tweet was.
they weren't subtle.
No.
But-
But then she was like, yeah, but did you see afterwards? And it's just her saying that's not true, and then it's like, oh, well, you're okay. Just because you're denying that now karmic is right. I never would have thought that he would have actually moved forward with this mess that he's in now. I thought he was not gonna do it.
what do you call it? I don't know. My impression, I'll be a cryptid for the moment and just make a lot of assumptions, but I get the feeling he's just a really lonely guy, doesn't get a lot of attention, and any woman could have paid attention to him, and this was the result. That he was just going to fall in love with the first person that came by,
Mm.
you know? And
Have you ever been on his show or had him on your show?
he refuses to talk to me. He talks about me, but he's blocked me everywhere. Yeah.
I thought you'd been on one stream together, Schmuel. Never? You and Carmax?
Well, I was
Never?
on the
Mirror show or no?
No, I was on Pat Dixon's show
Oh, that's the one.
with
right.
Karmic, and that it was a Rumble stream, and that's actually premiering tonight. I think Pat put it up earlier because Karmic was supposed to have
Gino on. Wasn't Carmick
Gino,
there?
right?
Gino? Yep. I heard him say something about that the other day.
Wow.
So, but somebody did put up a note that the Crown Royal is back. So, but I guess he's still wherever he is, right? But you can just see it, right? The guy's been with this girl for 2 weeks, basically, or maybe it's been a month, and he's already in love. I'm really in love. He's getting his haircut the way she wants it. He's changing his attire
Yeah, the style change.
to
Yeah.
do what he. I mean, it's like
The guy hasn't had pussy in 2 decades. Yeah, he's gonna do whatever she tells him to. Absolutely.
I swear to God, I just feel like I'd rather stick my dick in a glass of ice water, and it would just be the same. But no, but I do laugh. I once dated a woman who had moved into a new apartment. I was dating her, and she had all this like construction stuff that she wanted to do, which I'm incapable of doing. And we were having a decent relationship. She started to get quotes on her construction, and the next thing I knew, I was dumped. Right? She had a new boyfriend, Jimmy, and Jimmy just happened to be a contractor, and Jimmy happened to rebuild her studio apartment, putting in an alcove and all sorts of stuff. And yeah, and then for some reason, shortly after Jimmy finished the job, I got a phone call. Hey, would you like to go get some ice cream? And and then I got to hear how Jimmy wasn't that smart, and it was difficult to be with. And I'm thinking it's the same thing. It's like, oh, you're wonderful while you're setting up my studio and putting all these things together for me, which is what Karmic seems to be doing. And once that stuff gets done, she's not going to need him anymore.
What were you up to like in 1977?
She says, I was in high school.
He was at Studio 54. Schmuel, is that where you were hanging out?
Yeah, but what were you like in high school that year?
What was I like in high school?
Yeah.
I don't know. Normal, average, shy.
What were
Shy,
you
but not shy. Like, I'd be very shy, but then if you started to talk to me, I wouldn't shut up.
Were you in New York?
Yes, so Manhattan is where I went to high school.
Oh, because I was gonna ask you what kind of car you have, but maybe you didn't have one there.
No, I haven't. My first car I didn't get until I was like 20, 21 maybe.
When did you lose your virginity?
It's about, we don't need to go, maybe 16, I think. About 16 probably.
Were you like an athlete or like were you?
No, not at all.
What were you listening to?
I was a clown. Carlos says in 1977, I was at Plato's Retreat. I've never been to Plato's Retreat, but Pat Dixon has been there.
Were you like
very
a rock?
funny, Carlos. How old was the priest?
Were you like a rocker, or were you like into like Chicago?
it wasn't really that important to me. So it was probably more like Eagles and what did they call that? Corporate rock? Something like that?
Yacht rock.
Yeah, I think
Oh, yacht
retrospectively
rock
they
is
call it yacht
horrible.
rock.
Yacht rock is. I didn't even know what yacht rock was, and I put it on.
Oh man, if you can't get down with Christopher Cross,
And
I
I
gotta
was.
get off this show.
Oh my god, my
REO Speedwagon.
wife
Come on now.
loves. I see that was the problem. It's like I have a playlist, and it was very funny because it had a Dixie Chick song and then an REO Speedwagon song, then John Prine, and then it went back to REO Speedwagon, and I'm like, I used to like this.
They're fine.
But the guy from REO Speedwagon, I thought I love to listen to how people go out at the end, and the guy he had 2 barbecue grills, and he brought them both inside the bedroom, closed the door and opened up the barbecue grills and let the gas get them. And I thought, wow, that's a pretty unique way of doing it. Sorry.
Hey, I agree with you about Weezer. But I'm in my first Styx phase. Like I'm just obsessed with the Kilroy Was Here, that album. So I'm just like
Renegade's their best song. You gotta listen to Renegade.
Mr. Well, there's 3. Yeah. I have to pee. I'll be right back.
Thanks for sharing.
You
So
want me to pee on you?
no, I'm good with that.
How much is it gonna cost me?
About $25.
It's a deal.
I have to leave on a different note than that. Say something else.
No, let it out. Let it hang out there.
TJ.
No.
Boston.
Of course, Teamster's here because Ava's here. Teamster is a Dabbleverse royalty.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I went to school with a bunch of kids who were into Kiss. And
never got into Kiss.
And I was like, the makeup thing just didn't do it for me. And never really liked it. Let's say Pieces of 8. So I don't, but the truth of the matter is music was it just wasn't a thing, never got into it. Right. And used to read way too much. So that was always my show. Don't do it, Schmuel. Ha ha ha. You're very funny. Carlos, but I'm glad you're here, Carlos. God damn it. And
Carlos has a real problem with me, boy. Oof.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Like seriously, or are you just breaking balls?
Nah, he gets pretty mean. Hurts my feelings. I have to log off Twitter when he starts really going at me.
Oh, he goes at me pretty hard too, but I then go back at him, and he wins every time.
Of course.
And so Jeff Closer says high school in the 70s, no Led Zeppelin. I'm sure, I'm sure it was like Stairway to Heaven and all that stuff.
Oh,
but
I can't believe that's the first song you went to, Schmuel.
Like I ever was, I just wasn't, dude, I had a 2-hour train ride each way every day.
What, on the LAR?
And there were no Walkmans. No, on the New York City, on the A train.
Okay.
So, and there were no Walkmans or any of that stuff back then. So, I just I was a weird kid. So to answer obvious question,
that's hard. That's hard to believe.
I know. It's hard. It's hard to believe. So Ava, you're with us while you're packing up your.
1 second.
All right. Have you? All right.
Go ahead.
Have you seen any of the Mark Maron, Joe Rogan stuff?
Absolutely. I'm fully briefed on basically almost all appearances that he's made where he discusses this subject, and then I just watched his comedy special this last weekend.
And how is the comedy special? I haven't seen it yet.
I think that his last 3 comedy specials are objectively if you look at his comedy specials before the last 3, you could be like, oh, you're just this cranky, neurotic comedian that just talks about himself too much and doesn't do the craft of comedy and jokes. And I think that the last 3 comedy specials he's done are his best ones, and it's because he covers all bases. Like he's got jokes, like good jokes in between there, and good commentary. And it's not just about his neuroticism. And so I feel like those are his. It's his objectively, whether you agree with like his politics, and I think those are his 3 best pieces of work, and this one is the best one to me. Yeah. What about you?
I haven't seen the special yet. I did listen to Blind Mike and the podcast. I think it was Rogan went on his. I think.
Blind Mike. Sorry.
And it reminded me very much of he sounded very bitter. So particularly towards Rogan. And go ahead.
I have some.
Say it.
Well, I don't think so. I think that he's saying something a lot of people have been feeling that are connoisseurs of comedy that aren't he spoke for someone like me where it's like I'm like a leftist, but I never was politically correct. But I did observe that something happened with comedy where it became about a rejection to woke culture, which was fair, but it was an overcorrection, and it made it so like people were just being like gauged as great comedians because they were just like doing a trans joke or like, and it's really not because I'm butthurt about it, but it's just like, what's the edgiest thing that I could say? And then people are like, oh, it's funny. And I think Mark Maron was making a legitimate point where it's like, at a certain point, it's like, y'all won that. You're allowed to say whatever you want. And the material isn't there. Your jokes are hack. People that like he was making fun of are hack. If you watch like Joe Rogan's last comedy special, I would dare you to sit here and tell me that it was not obnoxiously horrible. And if you watch like those panels that he does when he's hanging out with his like friends that are pretending like they think he's funny just so they can get access to him, like you can tell that they know that he's not a good comedian either. Maron was just like, I don't know, he's speaking the truth about it. And Jeselnik was doing that first, and like Maron tied like a political lens to what Jeselnik was saying, which is like, this isn't an art form where people be creative, and just saying like edgy things is hack. It's like it has to be funny.
But where was Maron's criticism when there was an overreaction the other way, right? Where kind of the woke, and I hate that word, but that woke culture took over and people were getting criticized or canceled or whatever for being too edgy, or you couldn't make a joke about this person or that person or this group of people, right? I mean, that's what comedy is. So
I don't think that those are reciprocals, because there wasn't like a surge of like famous comedians that were being really woke that were in his orbit. It's not like Louis, like liberal people that were perceived before the Louis thing, even that were like liberal comedians, like even like Chris Rock that are liberal. It's not like they were ever being woke. So he didn't need to speak out about anything, because anyone in his orbit that was respected in comedy wasn't like just being PC. They were being funny.
Didn't Shane Gillis get fired for some throwaway joke about Asians or something? And then, now he's the biggest comedian kind of right now, right? I mean, that was SNL. I mean, get fired from SNL or
I don't think that follows the path of what we're just discussing about Maron and the reciprocal of that. But if you want to talk about how that was bad, yeah, I mean, sure. But you think, does Maron need to talk about the SNL thing? Maron has a bitterness about Lorne Michaels because he didn't get hired either. Why would Maron comment on the Shane Gillis situation?
No, I'm just saying
we're talking about Mark Maron specifically,
right? But it's just cyclical. I mean, my point was it rings hollow with Maron when he seemed fine with it when it was the other. How
do you know that he seems fine though with it? Like, to me, he seemed like just a comedian.
I didn't see him go on this media campaign, right? I mean, he's been. I've seen clips on him, I guess with who was it? Howie Mandel.
Yeah, I understand.
With this, he's pretty much saying the same thing. The hack, the jokes are mean, and you're picking on the people you're kicking on them when they're down, basically, type thing, or kicking these groups when they're down.
I don't interpret this as him doing a media campaign to talk about hack like right-wing comedians. He's promoting him ending his show that's been the focal point of his life for like 2 decades. And so he doesn't give a fuck. So like, he's fine just being like, they suck. And honestly, this is a good moment to point out that Joe Rogan sucks, because we've done the correction. Like, there was a problem with woke comedy. And then, a lot of people in the Rogan sphere, not him, did like did the right thing by calling out how things need to stop being so PC, and now there's an overcorrection, and it's been a few years of this, and I think this is the right time for someone like Mark Maron to be like, these guys aren't even funny right now, they're just like, it's hack. And so yeah, I think he's saying that because he's doing these long form interviews, and why not just give two less fucks?
No,
But that's not why he's doing the media tour. He's doing
no. I'm just saying I've seen clips. Like I said, I haven't watched the whole sit down. I'm not a huge Maron fan, so I haven't watched it. I've just seen the clips of him, of whoever the Clippers or whoever cutting it, just hitting the same talking points on a couple of different shows type thing.
Yeah, because they're triggered.
That's the extent of,
because
that's the extent of my knowledge. Right, it's rage bait. No, I get it, and they're doing it for clicks, and so.
But do you understand the point I'm making? Where Maron making that critique right now is different than before. Maron did not need to make a critique because there was no like woke like comedians that were famous for him to reject. Like even the liberal, that's my point, is like Chris Rock, Louis C.K. were the liberal comedians before, and they weren't like being woke. They were still edgy comedians. So why would he need to make a statement about that until right now? Because there's clearly something that has happened where politics has interspliced itself and a confoundingly higher level than you could make about woke comedians before, in the sense that Joe Rogan is one of the most famous comedians, and he is a gatekeeper for comedy through what he does at the Mothership. And he's also a political player, where one of the biggest conversations after this last election was like, why didn't Kamala Harris go on Joe Rogan's? Would that have swayed the vote? Like, no, he's a political player.
He won the election for Trump. When Trump went on, that I said to my father, I said, Trump's going to win. I mean, when Trump going on Joe Rogan's in October, September, whenever it was, I think that changed everything, to be honest with you.
I would challenge that, not like in the sense that I would want to resist that on the terms that you're defining it by. I think that Trump won this election because he was a better candidate to more people in this country, and Kamala Harris depressed the vote. I don't think the Joe Rogan thing actually really matters. And it kind of upsets me that they discussed it on the, like, Joe Rogan didn't, we're very online, all of us. And like anyone that like was going to be affected by Joe Rogan was already going to vote for Trump anyway. It's not like the Joe Rogan softball interview with Trump changed anything. But to finish my point, Joe Rogan is a political player in this last election. So it's a different thing for Mark Maron to observe that and make the comments he's making right now, because it's not the same. There's no counter to that. And the Shane Gillis thing is a different thing. And you could also argue that Lorne Michaels corrected that immediately by having him host regularly. How about that, bitch? How about that, bitch?
I don't want to get stealth. Now I'm scared.
I would. I would argue that I think what happened. Look, I grew up in an age of Carlin, right? And she's particularly Carlin. I mean, those guys, comedians were all leftists. They were all like anti-establishment. And supposedly woke. And what was happening was they became the establishment. Yes, but go ahead.
What? Before you, I don't want you to waste your time in case you thought I was saying anything otherwise. Those comedians were not saying you need to say that there's 6 genders or any of the things that the Rogan sphere were rejecting about the overcorrection of political correctness. They were actually like visionary, like activists, like people like Carlin. They weren't just doing stupid, retarded things like policing people's speech in the way that all these liberals were doing in 2014 and 15.
Right. But this was my thing. The comedy stuff, whatever. It's like, I don't really care. Like, Mark Maron's entitled to his opinion, and I don't disagree that guys like Tom Segura and other sort of Roganites are not terribly. It's not unique. It's not different. I think there's a lot on the left that's the same way. But what I was interested in was Maron has been harboring a grudge against Rogan forever for doing Fear Factor. And
why would he have a grudge? If he was going to have a grudge, wouldn't it be about him having them both arguably being the pioneers of podcasting?
No, they don't. It's not. It wasn't that at all. Now that may be what's behind it, but Maron's insistence is that Fear Factor. Joe Rogan had to sell out in order to do Fear Factor. He made a Faustian bargain, and it came across like, to me, as I was listening to him, like, Mark, maybe because they didn't offer it to you. And that was that was really what I got out of this more than anything else. And he's also got a big, he's had a big grudge against Rogan for the way Rogan treated Mencia.
I don't think that's. I think that Marin just thinks Joe Rogan's a retard, and I do too.
Well, you have to. I'm not arguing whether Joe Rogan's a retard.
But why would he care if he got Fear Factor? Like, he thinks he's
because
a hack.
he thinks that Fear Factor was the decline of American civilization, and it put a lot of comedy writers out of business because they didn't need them for these kinds of shows. And the it was, it's idiocracy come to life. That was Marin's main point in this. The other stuff, it's there. That's an argument, left or right, or whose jokes are hack or whose jokes aren't hack. I mean, that's been going on in comedy forever. But this other stuff, he's very bitter about the way the world has turned out.
Panhandler, I do not follow your path. Panhandler, do you understand? I do not get that.
I don't follow the Fear Factor thing, but then again, I'm not that deep in the weeds with that. But I mean, Marin, his whole thing, starting, I think Carlos Danger said it too in the chat, that his whole bit of beginning was grudges and just kind of being the curmudgeon and kind of just bitching about everything, right? I mean, that was his shtick, right?
Yeah, he was petty about about his friends like Louis and all of them that he came up with. He was jealous of them for being more successful. And then the thing, my layman's observation about his career is that then he fell into this podcasting and became one in his own. And he resolved a lot of that and became less bitter about those things. And I think there's a long period of time where that's just what he was doing. And then now he's about to do his last podcast. And so he's just taking some parting shots. And I think that's fair because they're warranted shots. People need to point out that Joe Rogan and all of them aren't that funny. And we all need to I used to be I'll still watch a Joe Rogan long form interview, but we as a culture, I do think we need to not have him be a reference point for anything that affects this world. And he says that when he's I don't know what I'm talking about. And we're putting way too much to me, just as a leftist, it's and I don't group leftists with the Democratic Party, so that's a whole other thing. But for them to be who's Joe Rogan? It's we need to just not have Joe Rogan be a barometer for anything. And I think what Marin did was humanize him as a comedian, be this guy's actually not even funny. He's a hack. And I would argue if you watch his last comedy special, it's horrible.
Right. But nobody, look, I don't think anybody's he did do a comedy special because he can. He's got the Comedy Mothership, which is a great place for people to perform, from what I understand. But I'm not thinking I don't think of Joe Rogan as a comedian. I think of Joe Rogan as a podcaster. And Mark Maron thinks of himself as a comedian, but Mark Maron has been more of a podcaster and an interviewer, and just as political as Rogan has over the time they do it. I mean, you're talking about Rogan. Rogan's had Bernie on, right? How many other right-wing guys would do that? But Rogan's also
Andrew Schultz has had him on. The right-wing Rogan people like Bernie. Right. It's not about that. I think that I'm probably more of a Marin nerd than you. So if you watch these interviews, he does talk about what his relationship is with what he thinks his career should be defined as in terms of, am I a podcaster or am I a comedian? He understands what you're kind of saying, and he's just kind of saying, I would just argue I've also done these stand-up specials and they mean a lot to me, and he feels like his last few ones were his best ones too. But it's not like he's oblivious to the fact that his career became what it was because he was a podcaster.
Yeah, but I'm not saying he's not oblivious to it, but he was scolding you. If you watch the interview, he was scolding Rogan about doing Fear Factor. And like I said, his words were Faustian bargain, because Joe Rogan said, something about, there's a being financially secure, right, was important. and Marin, basically, I think he called him a sellout for doing it. But that was what, almost how many years ago? Almost 20 years ago. I mean, Joe Rogan was not the Joe Rogan then that he is now.
I think that you should. I don't think that that's what he said, and that's his driving critique of Joe. But if you want to send that to me after, I'll watch it, and if I'll.
I will, and if you wanted a clip of it and don't want to watch the whole thing, Blind Mike, I think, just put it up.
Blind Mike has some really bad takes about everything. I was watching his Howard Stern assessment. Like his assessment of what's going on with the Howard Stern thing was just dopey. But yeah.
Look, I don't argue that, but the deal with Blind Mike is you don't have to agree with him, right? Like,
no, you're right.
That's the part. Like, I think with Mike, I mean, I think Mike makes, like everybody else, they have a lot of opinions, but I get the sense from Mike, you don't really have to agree with him that much. Whereas like a guy like Carl, I think Carl wants agreement. When they're talking about who's good or who's bad in comedy. But
Carl, you have to be on Team Carl for everything, and then if not, he's not gonna. I felt that as someone that used to go on his show, and then the second I started saying positive things about KB, he got all weird with me, or Chrissy Mayer.
I think KB is the same. I think you have to be on Team KB, or you're not going to be around.
That's what's funny though. Is KB's the same way.
They're both exactly. They're just mirror images of each other.
But KB's funny.
Go ahead, Pan.
No, I said KB has a team. I don't think KB gives a shit. I mean, he's going to rag on you whether you're on his side or not. I mean, yeah, he gets pissed if you go on somebody else's show or whatever the case may be without his permission. That's why you never see Chad on any other show. But I don't think KB gives a shit. I mean, he knows that his super chats are going to come in no matter how bad his show is or how ill prepared he is. Because, like Ava said, and like I've said many times, KB is the funniest guy in this little world of ours. Mm-hmm. And second isn't close. I mean, Patrick may put on a better show, more produced show, but KB's the funniest guy. Period. The end.
I would only say apples and oranges. Adam Bush off the cuff is like a genius, but it's different worlds. But those two to me are like the funny people in this. But to each their own. Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like I thought that KB was like that because when I was trying to go on his show initially, he just grouped me with them, and I was like, oh, he's not having me on because I go on their shows. But retrospectively, I think he just didn't want to have me on because he was probably like, I don't want to deal with that bitch.
No, I think he'd be good. I'm gonna bother.
I don't think so.
Send you the link.
No, don't do that.
Jason,
too late now. I'm gonna text him right now. Actually,
Cigarette Jones, Jason Bentley, thank you for supporting. Hey, really, Jason, we really appreciate it.
Oh, screw that guy. And, he's a dick.
Oh, look at this. Hold on.
What an asshole. What an absolute asshole. This is my best friend. My BFF.
What's that? What's his attack in that? That wasn't at me, right? Was that at
No,
you?
it's at me. It's at me. It's
all right, thank you. Well, then it's fine.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you, Jason, for the 20. Earlier, we got Jason sent us one that said, what's the matter? Jake Hudson wasn't available when Panhandler was on.
Can I tell you who else I think is for some reason making me laugh more than I ever thought they would?
Not Schmuel. No, that's not going to be the next word out of your mouth.
Schmuel's fine. Schmuel's like a Larry King figure in the Dabbleverse. When that guy JMO, when he emerged, I was like, I'm not going to even ever look. I'm just going to ignore him. I was just revolted by the notion of him. But the last 2 times I watched him, he's so weird and but also throws out these randomly pointed questions that he made me laugh yesterday he went on BYB and he just shot out of a cannon, insulting who's that girl that's dating what's his name? Gino.
Keanu.
Yeah, and he was just clearly out of line and had no place. It's but it was I don't know. There's something funny about him now, and I can't believe I'm saying that. But he's not even close to. He's not funny in the way that Kevin is, but at least I don't know. He's odd.
Well, I mean, he did come out, right? So he comes out because Chow and Mint and those guys are like uh, tweeting out every 3 minutes, putting
This
on
is
buying super chats,
this is the
the whole
longest
thing,
bit in history. This bit just
right? And
keeps on going. Jesus
you're
Christ,
like
you're committed.
yeah, and you just think like, oh my god, this guy's gonna be a dud, and he wasn't. He
Right?
wasn't.
Like he's got like a well lit green screen shot, and he's got like the psychedelic background and like this weird aloof expression on his face, and he's wearing the hat, and he looks like he should be an imbecile, but then like he just, I don't know, there's something funny about it.
He's not. Because you want him to be an imbecile, and he's not. And
No, like he'll ask these like randomly probing questions out of nowhere, and then also just it was funny that he just went into the dirt on Gino's girlfriend yesterday, and it was just so out of place that it was funny. It was like, dude, like they just started the show and you're just taking this all the way to the gutter.
I'm Team Canoe. I will not stand for this.
please.
I like Canoe. I like
I just look. I don't get it. I just think she's garbage, and
Jesus, Schmuel.
and Gino along with her. No, man, watching these guys, what they did to people like, poor Ray DeVito, trying to get Ray canceled at clubs for forever.
Yeah,
Fuck
I've said,
Gino.
no, I don't agree. Don't mess with anybody's real life, their jobs, their wives, their kids, or what. If they're not in this world, don't bring them in this world. I mean, that's just the shit move, regardless who the person is. I mean,
Yeah, did I put up Oscar Electric? Oscar Electric said, "Oh yeah, the deal with Blind Mike is he's not blind, and he goes online and asks people to donate because he's moving to another state because of a job." Buckman, can you bring up this point? And I'm bringing it up, Oscar, but he is blind, and he's got stars something or whatever. He's got it's similar to like a macular degeneration where he's going blind, right? Like he now barely can see, and eventually he's going to be completely blind. And it started as a kid, and he's got it. So if he's lying, he's the greatest liar in the history of blindness.
I just want Blind Mike to engage Mark Maron on the points Mark's making and not be reactionary about it because he's attacking his little clique or like his side. Was that no?
I think if you listen to the Blind Mike thing, you'll get a very fair what do you call
Jesus,
it?
Ava's washing Marin's balls more than Schmuel washes Dixon's balls. What is going on here?
Dude, somebody needed to say what Marin is saying.
All right, Marin Stan, we get your point. You love him. We got it.
No, you're attached to your politics and it's blinding your objective assessment.
You don't know my
apparently
politics.
you are.
I'm not a Trump guy. I'm not a Trump.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that.
I'm very, very.
Well, I think. Look, bottom line, I think that was Marin's big problem with like Joe Rogan and whatnot. That we have a reality show host as the president.
Well,
so how far have we fallen? And he's acting like Joe Rogan got the ball rolling by doing Fear Factor.
My more an indictment on the corporate media that people are going to Rogan or going to long form podcasts or people they don't think are qualified to get their information because corporate media is such a shit show and it has been for the last 25 years and it's just a propaganda arm at this point.
But that doesn't negate what I'm saying. Like to me,
no, it doesn't. I'm just saying it doesn't. I'm just saying I don't think everybody should listen to Rogan or go to Rogan for everything. But I think there's a bigger problem here, a systemic problem in terms of nobody knows where to get the news from, right? And now we're really going to bore the shit out of people. So they find these people that they like or have guests on that they like, and they take them as experts, which they're not. Even if Joe Rogan says he's not an expert every 5 minutes.
And we're in full agreement. That's why I was saying like we need to get off of this Joe Rogan thing, or even finding a left of the Joe Rogan and like not have that role designated to somebody that is just trying to do like
he's not qualified, right?
And he's just trying to do his show. And I understand for him, it's like I'm just going to talk about what I want to, and I don't want to deal with that. But at a certain point, it's like you're going to the White House and having dinners with the president. So like it's changed now, but we shouldn't want that person, anyone in that role. And instead of them correcting the media failure that you're referring to, people like the Democrats are just like, oh, we need to find some influencers, and it's like, no,
Good
like
luck. Good
just
luck
don't be corrupt.
Good luck
Yeah.
with Harry Simpson or whatever little twinks you guys got out there. Good luck. Good luck with the mail vote with those guys.
Yeah, but you're also talking about you lost an election, right? And
I didn't. They stole the primaries from the people I wanted to.
well,
to
Yeah, absolutely
in
did.
any
Yeah,
event,
absolutely did.
these people lost an election, and it's just like every other group.
they're my enemy more than anyone else. The Democratic Party,
particularly the pundits and all those people. They need a reason. They need a justification. They're selling services, and they're like, "Oh, if you can just fix this." Right.
I want them to burn. I want the corporate media to burn. I want Jake Tapper to crumble. I want them to fail, and I cannot wait for them to just be removed from this discourse where they've taken part in this country being such a just the decline in this country by their misinformation and on all the war propaganda they've done that like so many people are dead from. I want the corporate media, all the CNN, all the MSNBC people to just burn.
All right. So Panhandler.
One second. I just want to. If there's a camera that has a wide enough lens, can we send Bentley the link? Because now it's on. Because now he's just really just busting my balls. Sorry to interrupt.
I mean, I'm happy.
Did you just start reading the chat too? Wait,
yeah.
JMO, I just complimented you for like 20 minutes. He's attacking me, the guy.
Well, JMO's a hack.
Panhandler, thanks, Cronkite. So this is the genesis of this corporate media going to shit. Is it used to be a loss leader for these networks, right? They didn't make money. It wasn't a money maker. It wasn't a revenue center. And when it became a revenue producer for these companies and they realized they could, that's when it went to shit. Because no longer do they care about the news.
Yeah, it's editorials. It's just opinions, right? I mean, it's just whatever. Yeah.
Well,
we got to get.
They're going to do Flash. They're going to do, the kid lost in the well. And my biggest thing with when you see like the media stuff, and Carlos Danger might be in on this, is like you get these, particularly when you look at like local headlines, a lot of times you'll have major furniture chain, 135-year-old furniture chain going out of business. And you've got to read till the fourth paragraph to get the name of it. Right. And it's to keep your eyes on the page long
to keep
enough
you engaged, to keep you engaged.
Advertising or whatnot. Right. And it's like, I don't even bother reading it anymore or watching it. In any event, I think we're going to wrap it up.
Thank God.
We're right at about 2 hours. I always love having guests on that hate being here. That's what my
I know. That's how miserable my life is. So I keep showing up.
That's why I have you come on here. Well, torture. And if it gets Bentley going, I also really like that too.
Fuck that guy.
Schmuel's like Billy Graham should be president.
And we're at it.
Yeah, no.
Fuck Reels too, wherever he is.
Reels. I like
Reels. Foot creep.
Reels is a good guy. And who is somebody was shitting on?
And for the record, he is shorter than Chad for the 19, 20 people though.
He's
Chad
not a tall man.
Taller than Reels. So don't let Reels.
He's not a tall man, but he smokes great cigars. And I do believe he's from the same borough as I am. And Schmuel, I want to see KBEs. Oh, get him Jay. I'm a sweet man. I can't even tell. Oh, okay, Jay. Kiki's so dumb. We've said that already tonight about 10 times.
Catty. Women being catty.
Except what do you call it? Panhandler is here to defend Kiki.
Talk about women being catty. There's JMO. What a bitch that guy is.
Oh yeah, Texas broad. All right, guys. I want to get it wrapped up, and because Jason Bentley needs to get that sleep apnea machine on, and
like he's shooting down bombers. Go to sleep, old man. Have some more biscuits and gravy, Slim.
He's a funny guy. He does love a steak.
Yeah, he loves everything called food.
Oh,
you see the size of him?
I messed up Kenneth Copeland. Kenneth Copeland is such a piece of shit. I wanted to talk about that, but I don't think I'm capable of doing it. So I'm trying to put something together with Luigi Greenberg. And Panhandler. Oh, Cigarette Jones. This was great. And J Mo. Panhandler is too tall for me. All right, guys. I want to thank you guys for being here.
Right.
Thank everybody in the chat. And right. And this is what I'm notorious for is Schmuel wants to wrap up. So
Yeah,
45
like Michael
minutes
Bauer,
left.
right? It takes about 17 minutes to say goodbye, right?
I do it like I'm trying to end a party and get people out of my house. Like I don't want to just throw everyone out. So I'm like, maybe time, and then you can chat. I think it's an Irish thing. Oh, look at this, Jason Bentley. You supplied the donuts, asshole.
That's true.
Yeah, you're that kind of friend. No, go ahead. It's your birthday.
No, Bentley, because as you know, Bentley always picks up the check because he's such a big swinging dick, rich guy. And so one
Ooh.
day he let me buy him donuts, and that was the extent my contribution to our friendship after the
Were those
hundreds and
pink
hundreds of dollars. Yeah, the pink box, yeah,
pink
at the
box?
plaza, right?
I can't. It's so sad. They looked so good, but I
So
can't have
good,
them.
so good, so
Um,
good.
I didn't eat them. I was just happy being miserable. I was doing your thing. You were being really nice, and I was being
Yeah,
miserable.
you were such a dick when you were playing craps. I'll never let you forget that. Let you live that down. Excuse me. Yeah, you scared me, Schmuel.
I am a dick. That's the thing. Is like I keep trying to bring that personality to the air, and I just can't do it. I
You're
don't know
not,
It's
what
but
the
there.
problem is, but in person, I'm really a dick. So
by the way, for the future, put Av in the top next so we can stare at her rack. Because now when you do this, we can't see her rack with the chats. So
I
in the
was
future,
told earlier that
keep her on the top row.
we're no longer permitted to talk about Ava's rack.
Yeah,
You know everyone.
I
We
won't be following that rule. Just to let you know.
We don't. Yes. She doesn't want to be objectified.
I didn't say that. I mean,
I know.
I've never taken a position on it.
Yes, you have. When you've leaned over that mic, or it's a position we've seen. All right, guys. It's been great. I will see you on Thursday night
Nice meeting
at
you, Ava.
about 8
You
o'clock.
as well, man.
And Ava, great to see you. Do you guys got any
too.
plugs or anything?
You can fuck off, Schmuel. That's my only plug. And same to you, Bentley.
It's my Bandcamp and my YouTube. They can find it if they want to. It's got music on it.
Cool.
Cool.
I just kicked Panhandler out just for shits and giggles.
Well, that was fun. Thanks for having me on. It's good to see you.
Thank you so much for coming on. It was
Absolutely.
great. And we got to work on the interview thing.
Think it through and think about if you want to deal with.
Yeah, I want to deal with it. I don't care. That's my what do you call it? I love it.
They don't. They don't like.
I don't care, but it's like, look, they want me to be like the right wing old guy, without any learning or whatever. And so I'd like to hear.
I think for me, it's like if you just make sure to like in the beginning explain that you wanted to have that conversation, because what happens is everyone thinks that, oh, the trans person wants to talk about being trans, and it's never me. Like, people start asking me questions, I respond to them. So as long as you make it clear that you wanted to have that conversation in the beginning,
right? And I'll have a decent list of questions to ask you. But pretty much what I want to know is, how do you grow up and wind up finding out what you need to do and how you change it, and some other questions. But I'll save those. And yeah, what's funny is anytime I ask somebody to do something like this, they're always worried about getting sandbagged, and it's just not that I just don't do that. So
I don't know if you've seen the times I've answered these questions, that I'm an open book about it. I just don't ever want people to be annoyed that I'm talking about it and then think that it's my fault. You know what I mean? That's what happens is people, I'm down to talk about whatever, but then people will just assume that I wanted to talk about it, and then they attack me for that. It's like,
I got you. Well, I don't have the greatest amount of history in this universe, so
you're fine. You're a human being.
I will learn things that I don't know. All right.
You don't even have to learn. I love that you want to ask questions. That's the way to be about it. I would have had a million questions if I'm on the other side of it.
All right. And especially, because I'm so much older and the world was different.
There were trans people back then too.
No, I know, but we used to call them drag queens and trannies, and
I don't know if you look at the comments, but I think that's still what we're calling.
so and it's funny because when I was like, God, I was a young guy. We were hanging out in Greenwich Village, and there were two very large men dressed as women, and it was obvious they were like two friends from the suburb, and this was their chance um, to express themselves, and even in the village they were being stared at, so it was pretty funny. And now I don't, now it would just be nothing. So
No, if you're a
so
trans person and you walk around and like children, or if you like walk around in public, like you're reminded that you look like a freak because like kids will look at you and they're like, what? And then you're like, oh, that's right. They're probably confused because their head is like, why is that happening?
Schmuel killed a guy at Stonewall. Oh yeah, that was the other argument I got into yesterday, is about the Minnesota cheerleader, the they male cheerleaders, and these guys are uber gay, and they're tweeting out how disgusting it was, and I'm like, men have been dancing since the dawn of time.
Like
Yeah.
4 of our last presidents in the last century were male cheerleaders.
Well, that was what
But
I did.
do you see where this is going? Is that people are getting more and more poor, and then so they're like, fuck gay people now.
I don't know. I did put up a picture of George Bush cheerleader president, and the one guy's comment was, he wasn't swooshing like that guy.
Well, have you seen those pictures of H? Are you talking about W or HW? Those pictures of HW back in the day, like cheerleading, are kind of gay. If you want to do that,
I was W. I knew W was a cheerleader, so I just pulled it up. So
Papa Bear was too.
Well, it's a Yale tradition. Rah rah rah, Ziskumbah, good night.
Mm-hmm.